The first thing you want to do when creating any file on your computer is to name and save it. So go up to that File menu and select Save As. In this top file, type in the name of your script. We'll just use Test Script. And notice that something very thoughtful has been done for you. It automatically appends the correct extension on the file name, which is MMSW for Movie Magic Screenwriter. Just as important as saving your script is remembering where it's saved. By default, Screenwriter saves into a folder that's created automatically when you install the software. That folder is named Movie Magic Screenwriter. If you're working on a Macintosh, that's saved in your Documents folder. If you're working on a computer using Windows, that's saved in the folder that's named My Documents. Of course, you're free to save into any folder you want and name that folder anything you prefer, but the important thing to remember is where you save your script. So once you make that decision, go down to the lower right-hand corner and click the Save button. Although ScriptWriter is full of lots of features, really powerful features too, it can also be very easy to use. In this demonstration, I'll be showing you how virtually all of the formatting can be accomplished by using only two keys, the Tab key and the Return key, which if you're using Windows is the Enter key. Knowing that, which of these two buttons should I press first? Let's try the Return key, which displays a dialog box asking if you would want to insert the standard fade in. Correct answer is yes. You then see the first of several very helpful pop-up lists, in this case for scene heading. If you want to start your script with an interior scene, you would click INT, but I want to start with an exterior scene, so I'll click EXT, then type in the location. After typing the location, without spacing or doing anything else, press the Return key. This pops up another list for you, in this case for time of day, and I will select to make this scene during the daytime. With that one click, several things happen. Not only does this finish the proper formatting of a scene heading, which can also be called a slug line, it also created a line immediately below for action description. You can tell this is properly formatted, confirm that it's properly formatted by going up to the top toolbar. Notice this little button, it says Action. If you click that button, it pops up all of the other styles that you could apply to any script element, but we want action. Very often, action will be followed by dialogue. That would be the Tab key I'm pressing right now, which creates a new line for a character name. Look up here the top toolbar to see that it is properly formatted for a character name, and we will type in a character name, Jonas. Press Return again, and we are ready to write words to be spoken. If you want more action, press the Return key. Then, to have someone else speak, you would press the Tab key. Press the Return key again, and let's do something different this time. I'm going to enter the open parentheses symbol here, and this creates what's called a parenthetical direction. This is also called a Riley because it suggests how the line should be delivered. And the cliche here is to tell your actors to be wry in the delivery of lines. Now, this calls for a big warning. Use parenthetical directions very sparingly. Actors and directors often are offended by these parenthetical directions because they think it's their job to interpret how lines are to be delivered. So use parenthetical directions only when the action or the dialogue itself suggests a delivery that's different from what it should be. Once you write the parenthetical direction with your cursor still inside of that closing parenthetical symbol, press the Return key. And notice that a couple things happen. The cursor jumps out of the parenthetical direction, creates a new line below, and properly formats it for dialogue. So you are now ready to add more dialogue. Press the return key and you are ready to write more action. But say that instead of action description, you want to call attention to something by entering a shot. You remember what to do when pressing the return key once doesn't give you what you want. You press it again, which I'm doing now, and this brings up that scene heading list. Take a look down toward the bottom, and you will see a selection for Make This a Shot. Click that and type in what you would want the audience to see. You can confirm that, let me spell it correctly. You can confirm that this is correctly formatted by looking at the top toolbar and see the shot here. Shots are something else that should be used sparingly because directors and editors like to think that they know best how to visualize a story. So a script that's laden with lots of shots looks amateurish, as if it's done by a writer who is not familiar with this Hollywood reality. Press return again and we are ready for another action description. But say that this is a short scene, it's finished, and you need a new scene. So we will press return again, bringing up the scene heading list. Since this is the end of a scene, we could enter a transition. So let's go down to the bottom here. When we see Make a Transition, click that, and this suggests some transitions for us. Let's just select Cut To. See the scene heading list again. As I said, you could do this, but you probably shouldn't. This is yet another of those script elements that must be used sparingly. To insert a cut to at the end of every scene that should probably end with a cut anyway is another mark of an amateur who is just not aware that this is simply not necessary, and a more experienced screenwriter wouldn't do this. So I am now clicking delete to back out of all of these things. We're back at the end of the shot. Press return again to get a new line. Press return a second time to bring up this list of scene headings. I will click INT for an interior scene. And look what this does. It suggests that I reuse scenes that have already been typed into this script, in this case South Pacific. But I don't want to do that. I want to put this in the captain's cabin. I will click return again to get suggestions for time of day. Click moments later. We have now completed a short scene which contains all of the elements that you would need to write a scene of any length, even the elements that you shouldn't use very often. And we have done all of this formatting by using only two keys, the Tab key and the return key, which if you're using Windows would be the Enter key.